before James Harrison. We're mixing it up today, and that spit, or was it a spit, has been the talk of the town. James.
That was spit. That was no question about it. Yes, that was spit. You can see as he's like standing there turning back to go this way, it's like just drizzle spit down. He's not trying to like shoot it straight to his face, but he's trying to spit on him, and he came through with spitting on him. And the reason, you know, Chris took so long to react is like, it's that mist of like, did he really just spit on me? And as he looked away, yeah, you just spit on me. That's why you're looking away. You're trying to make like you didn't do it on purpose, and you did.
Some offensive tackle had done that to you. You react by doing what?
I'm giving him like 3-piece. I'm trying to pop his helmet off. It's, game got to stop, and I probably got to see him like after the game because that's the most disrespectful thing you could ever do to anybody.
Absolutely. You would be fined, you would be suspended, but you're good.
I would take all that. I'm good with that. Yeah. Games, checks, all that. That's about respect to me.
Listen, if we see the spit, you can't acquit. I'll say it again. If you see the spit, we can't acquit.
Ooh, I like that.
He spit on him. If it was an accident, then he could have even said it was an accident. You know, like I talk, you know, people, you talk trash, whatever. Sometimes it happens. He spit on him. And, you know, listen, the thing is now, first of all, we never hear from Rondo. Now we've heard him talking and saying all these things for all his time in the league. If Chris Paul's this, Chris Paul's that, back it up with some facts. You spit on the dude. You know, I just don't like all this chirping and complaining and all that stuff. Like, why is Chris Paul a bad teammate? You spit on the dude, take responsibility, or say, I did spit on him, it was an accident. I would never do that, yada, yada, yada.
So, I believe that Rondo, bless you, that he spat at him, but he didn't actually connect with the spit on him.
Oh, he connected. You can see.
I don't think it went
catch
on
the
him.
mist. He catch the mist of the...
I thought it just sort of popped into nowhere.
That's that he's talking to the ref. He's going sideways like this. And I'm like, oh, you really did? You just spit on him.
Took him a second.
And you can't tell me, even though Rondo continues to vehemently deny it, as does his coach and a lot of his teammates, but it was intentional spit.
Yes.
They were little spits, but they were spits nonetheless. I don't think they landed, like you say, maybe...
spit on somebody.
What's that?
You can't little spit on somebody. Like you said, talking and a ball come out,
Okay.
He didn't Tupac him. Remember when Tupac spit at the river? No, he didn't do that. Yeah, he didn't Tupac him.
I got it. But Rondo said, how do you spit with a mouthpiece in? Well, you can spit with a mouthpiece in. You can do it, okay? So he wanted to try to get away with little spits with me, and it's just like a little machine gun, you know, just little, they're just little spits. And I don't think he really intended for them to land, but he just wanted the message sent, this is what I think of you.
Still not okay.
It's not okay. And yet Chris Paul, given his reputation for just snapping and cheap-shotting opponents, he actually exercised pretty great restraint because his reaction was just like, I'm just going to poke him in the face. Like, you know, and then Rondo loses it and throws a left, which I don't think quite landed. And then Chris Paul actually ended the fight with one good uppercut, and I think it drew blood.
He got a left. The left, see, y'all seen the uppercut.
They were weak.
He also caught a left. The left caught his lip. That's what got the bleed.
The Chris Paul left.
They were both flailed. Like, you need leverage when you throw a punch. You got to have leverage. Joe Louis, you know, he had a great short right hand. But the thing is like, the spitting, the not spitting, and all this stuff. It's just, you can't spit on anybody and expect this to happen this way. And whether or not Chris Paul, you know, is a bad teammate and everybody's saying these things, it doesn't. I just don't know what this is turning into now. And it's like this. It's like the Zapruder tape with JFK. Like, oh, like there's this angle, there's that angle. Where is this going to go? You can't spit on...
Can't spit on nobody.
You can't spit. I don't think Chris Paul should be suspended. And also, right after the play happened, you heard, I believe it was Doris Burke say, he said he spit on me. So it wasn't like this was a day later. He said immediately.
You can see as he's going to put his finger in his face, he's like, did you just spit on? You can see the words coming out of his mouth. So, yeah, and even after it happened, like, just for, like, 4 or 5 seconds, they just letting him go. Melo's sitting there, Bron sitting there, they're like, what they just letting him go for, like, then they finally grabbed him. So, like... I know it's no feeling. He spit on it.
And if Rondo, like I said, if Rondo didn't do it intentionally, be like, yeah, I did, and I could, you know, apologize about the spitting, but to not take ownership of spitting, this will go down in history as one of the dirtiest things, the most Evander Holyfield's ear biting, Manny Machado's kicking, when that lunatic Terry O'Reilly from the Boston Bruins went into the stands at Madison Square Garden and not only beat the fan, but he beat him with his own shoe, Skip. That's not okay. This will go on with one of those dirty moments.
So, in your league, the classic spitting incident occurred on Monday Night Football a little before your time, but it was Bill Romanowski.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Romo at all?
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
And he spat in the face of J.J. Stokes. And Shannon Sharp, whose seat you're sitting in right now, was sort of the leader of that team. And they had to have, to quote him, a come-to-Jesus meeting over that because they were not happy with their teammate, Bill Romanowski, but he used that tactic as a distraction, as a, I'm going to get under your skin. Because
that's not a distraction.
Well,
that's disrespectful.
Okay, but
distraction is talking about you.
Romanowski was a really good football player who won a whole bunch of rings.
He was nuts.
He was just a little out there, but again, he could back it up. Like if you wanted to fight, he would fight you. So he was ready to fight if you wanted to fight. And he thought J.J. Stokes was a soft player, so he's just going to try to get under his skin. But it's a line, as you say, nobody crosses that line and gets away with it. So did you ever see any spitting at all in your career? Did you encounter it anywhere?
I haven't encountered anybody that's actually just went and just spat on somebody.
No.
Like you had a situation where a guy may be talking and like you see spit fly from his mouth, but it's not a, or like he did.
So you never encountered it in a single game?
Who's going to spit on him?
No.
Like who's going to spit?
You can step on my hand like you accidentally trying to get up and you step. Okay, I could take that, but you cannot spit on me and think the game is going to continue. Game's about to stop.
So you never saw it in your whole career?
I haven't seen anyone spit on
and that's why Chris Paul said, in all my career, which is getting lengthy, he said, this has never happened to me. Yet the irony that we talked about earlier in the show is that, to your point about being a horrible teammate, Chris Paul's image has gone unscathed for years when, to me, he's the dirtiest player of his era. And the irony of this whole discussion is he's the victim now of the spitting, when, in fact, a lot of players have been victimized by Chris Paul, many of them below the belt shots.
That's also bad.
So I know that doesn't really happen in your game, but again, that's close to, that's not quite spitting on somebody, but it's close. It's in the ballpark.
It's the same thing. Below the belt shots.
No. Spitting is way worse than anything in the world. Like that's you can't top spitting. It's impossible.
Like cheap shots.
I'll just spit on you right now.
But then
it's a fight.
I agree. But cheap shots. When you're playing sports, I mean, I get what you're saying. But cheap shots in the below the belt area and spitting, it's in the same.
No, not even close. Not even close. Spitting, dude. Spitting. That is the most. I can't even imagine if my child was to spit on someone, I would beat him like he stole something. That is the most disrespectful thing you could ever do to anybody.
Okay.
No, I agree.
But wait
I
a second.
agree.
At the end of a closeout game, it's the Clippers versus the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis, and the game is over and the series has been decided. And Chris Paul just snaps and loses it, as he is wont to do occasionally, despite his State Farm ads that make him out to be the nicest guy ever. But he got a running start and hit Marc Gasol right in the groin area.
That's crazy to me.
Running start and just doubled him over with a punch to the groin. And I'm saying, what just happened? And guess what? Chris Paul is so respected by other players in the league, because he's the president of the Players Association, that as he got thrown out of the game by Joey Crawford and left, this is like a minute before the buzzer, several of the Memphis Grizzlies ran after him and shook his hand like, nice series. And I thought they were first running after him to fight him, because them is fighting words, man.
You can fight on that, but it's still not as disrespectful.
Okay, I got you. I'm with you.
That's the ultimate.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't. Was it the end of the series that they were?
It ended.
I don't know. I mean, is this going to hurt his image? Who knows? I don't know.
How can it not? I mean, I'm afraid this story might stick with him for
Rondo.
For a while.
Yeah.
For Rondo.
Well,
he's going to regret
No,
that
but
one.
now, but people coming out, like Big Baby coming out against him, Rondo
against Chris
You know,
Paul.
are more people.
All of a sudden, he's in the
true.
spotlight.
But also,
Still spit.
this isn't the Real Housewives. If you're going to say it, say it. Like, yo, why is he a bad teammate? You know, like,
Own
let's
it.
get into it.
All right, James, thank you.
you.
Good stuff today. All right, I'm going from spitting to crying in a
Yep,
game.
you
I
are.
have